here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall two steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven, how do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. We have the one, the only, the truly amazing Jordan Adler on with us here tonight. He is sitting in the green room, scratching and clawing at the monitor. He's ready to go. I cannot wait to bring him on and share his genius, his brilliance, and most importantly, his success with you, because that's what this show is all about. This show, the Mind, Body, Business Show, is a show that I had put together with the express intent of bringing on super successful entrepreneurs like Jordan so that you can take notes on what he has done to achieve his success and then take it one step further. Take notes and then take action on those notes. The Mind, Body, Business Show is a show about what I call the 3 pillars of success. And yes, they are the very name of this show. Mind being mindset. So for a period of about 10 years, I studied only successful people. And what I found were these 3 pillars kept bubbling to the top. And when it came to mindset, to a person, each of these very successful individuals, I'm sure Jordan is no different, had mastered the mindset. And what does that mean? They had a very powerful, positive, and most importantly, flexible mindset. And body literally meant and means that they all took care of themselves and take care of themselves physically and nutritionally. Jordan is no stranger to that either. We had a nice talk right before the show came on. And then business. Business is multifaceted, but the thing is with these very successful individuals is that they had mastered the various skill sets that are necessary to build, grow, and scale a very successful business. What kind of skill sets, you might ask? Well, you're very astute if you did. Yes, many, but there are many. I'll name a few. There's skill sets like sales, marketing, leadership, systematizing, team building. I could go on and on. I will spare you. And being an astute viewer or listener of this show, that mastering any one skill set can take an exuberant amount of time. So the good news for you, though, is you don't have to master not even all of the ones I just mentioned. In fact, if you're to concentrate on just one of those, just one, and put your focus on it right now from this point forward to master it, then the rest can be leveraged in by way of other individuals. That one skill set that I would implore upon you to really focus on is the skill set of leadership. Yes, even if you have nobody on your team right now, cultivate a culture within your business with yourself and learn the qualities of leadership. And there are many books on this topic. I'm not going to go through all of those right now. I will give you, though, a great resource on where you can find books about leadership. In fact, that is one of the great other attributes of these incredibly successful individuals, is that to a person, they are all very avid readers of books. And with that, I want to segue very briefly, and then we'll bring on Jordan. I want to segue very briefly into a segment I affectionately call Bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by reachyourpeaklibrary.com.
Yes, there you see it. Reachyourpeaklibrary.com. One quick word of advice, please, if I may. And that is, you are going to be learning of different resources here tonight. I know for certain that Jordan he's got a fantastic gift for you, and he's got a challenge for you that I can't wait for him to unveil. And you see one right here, reachyourpeaklibrary.com. What I am going to ask you to do for yourself, not for me, is to, instead of, give into that itch of going over it, clicking away and checking it out while this show is either going live right now. For those of you watching, thank you all for being here. For those of you that are listening to the recording on podcast, we're on 35 podcast platforms. For those of you that might be watching the recording of the video, Instead of clicking away, don't even click pause. Keep going and take notes. But that's the key. Write the resources down. Get a piece of paper, whatever works for you is your go-to for note-taking. Write them down, and then after the show is over, go visit those resources and consume them as much as you want. Because here's the thing. Please know this. The magic happens in the room. What does that mean? I am going to be asking Jordan some questions that could quite literally change your life, meaning his answers to those questions could change your life. And I would really hate for you to have diverted your focus away and you're typing in a URL, or you're going to look at a book that's been recommended, or you're going to check out one of Jordan's links. I would really hate for you to be doing that at the very moment that he is giving you the keys to the kingdom of success that you so richly want, and even more importantly, that you deserve. So please, for yourself, write these down as we go. All right, soapbox moment is over. Reach Your Peak Library is a website that I had my team develop literally with you in mind, because I myself was not a voracious reader until about 12 years ago. Actually, I just thought about it again. Today is my birthday. I'm now 59, so around 47, that's when I finally started reading books voraciously. And so I began realizing and noticing that these had profound impact on my professional life and my personal life many times as well. And so I began cataloging them, storing them, and saying, hey, team, put up the next book. I just finished this one. And I'm looking at this list as it scrolls, and it is way behind. I've got many more books to throw up here. I need to get those over to the team as well. But there are many here to choose from. The purpose of this is not to make money. The purpose is for you to have a quote unquote library that you can go to and at least know that one other successful person has vetted the books on this page. Why? Because now you are more likely to not waste your time. More likely, I say, because I cannot guarantee that they will have the same kind of profound effect that they had on me, that they will have that on you. But at least you're increasing your odds of not wasting your time. And that is really the sole purpose of this website. All these buttons go to Amazon. Find a book you like and go to wherever you choose to buy your books. It does not have to be from this site. Grab the title and go find it. Just go get it, read it, take action on it, come back, get another book, and then keep going. It has been an absolute strategy for success for me personally. And speaking of strategy of success, it is time finally, once and for all, for Brian to stop yammering on endlessly so we can bring on the very special person you came here to look and watch and listen to. And that is none other than Jordan Adler. Let's bring him on right now, shall we? Here he comes.
It's time for the Guest Expert Spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it is the one. It is the only Jordan Adler. Yes.
Thank you, Brian. Brian, happy birthday. I had no idea.
Thank you so much. Oh, man, this is like the greatest birthday gift where I get to do what I love to do, and that's talk to amazing individuals such as yourself, Jordan. We met a half hour ago. And in that short period of time, I can already tell you're an amazing man. You love giving back. You love teaching. You love showing others how to succeed quicker, because you yourself went through some pretty intense times of trials through personal life and in business. If you don't mind, this would be a perfect time, Jordan. I'd like to introduce you properly, and then we'll dive into these hard-hitting questions for our viewing audience. Does that sound good?
Awesome. Sounds great.
All right. At 34 years old, Jordan, he's like 35 now. Jordan Adler was living in an enclosed garage. His rent was $200 a month, and he had 2 roommates. He carried $36,000 in credit card debt, and his job paid him $14,000 a year. He had tried 11 network marketing companies in 10 years and never signed up one person and never made one penny. Oh, how many can relate to this? I know I can. The future at that point looked bleak. Yet today, he is one of the highest paid network marketers in the world, building an organization of over, get this, 600,000 affiliates in 5 countries. My goodness, he cracked the code. His best-selling book, Beach Money, has sold over 1 million copies, and 100% of the profits of his book are donated to an organization that helps entrepreneurs in developing countries to start small businesses through microloans. Ooh, I've heard of this. This is fantastic. Jordan splits his time between two mountain homes, a condo on the Vegas Strip where he is right now, and of course, the beach. Yes. 6 years ago, he decided to get his helicopter pilot's license for fun. Why? I'm guessing because he could. And Jordan's message is a message of hope, simplicity, and limitless opportunity. Yes, bring it on home. That is the man right there, Jordan Adler. So blessed to have you grace our stage here tonight.
Brian, thanks for that. I couldn't have written that better myself.
Did a phenomenal job. I love that. I love the whole
Thank
thing. It's the zero to hero journey story that there's so much behind that, though, in addition to that no one sees. Like we were talking about our personal lives. I'm not going to bring that up here, but we deal with more than just what is shown in these bios that people will go, how the heck did you make it? I mean, for you, You went through a lot. And you have been through a lot. You will continue to go through some things. They just never seem to go away. But for you, it came down to your mindset. And that's what I found is the secret sauce to success for so many individuals. And I'm curious about you, like when you were going through these trials, but you knew that there was something out there. And let's fast forward to today where you are now. You get up in the morning and you know that there might be some arduous tasks to take care of. There might be some outreach, or maybe you're just living the life and living it gloriously. But if you are facing a day that's going to be a challenge, what is going on in your big, beautiful brain that is keeping you motivated, powered, and just eager to start your day and devour it so that you can help serve more people? What is it for you?
Gosh, where I'm at today is a little different in terms of mindset because I'm living my dreams, like the dreams that I had for many years when I was much younger, that were just a thought back then, and a hope and a wish, and not even an intention yet, just a hope and a wish back then when I was in my 20s and even in my early 30s. And I just was working whatever business I was involved in. Today, it's really more for me about, I just do my best to live, maybe my age to some extent, living in the present, really enjoying people, enjoying my travels, enjoying the challenges that come with building something. So that's part of it is, I step into a place of, what good can I get from whatever set of circumstances I'm in or whatever people that I'm around. And then also, keeping yourself in a mindset of giving all the time. That brings a lot of joy. And we all go through periods of time where we're internally focused and we're more focused on ourselves. And then sometimes you have to step back and go, you know what, I'm not feeling the joy. And sometimes it's because you're not extending yourself out into the world in a positive way to other people and bringing light to other people. So I think a lot of it is just like staying in a mindset of being present. And then if you are in a place in your career or in your life where there's stuff out there that you really want to experience or want to do that you haven't done, or you want to, acquire, whatever it is, people you want to spend time with, trips you want to take. If you're in that place, it's so important when you have the challenges to continue to remind yourself to focus on that, because we get into a tailspin sometimes that causes us to lose focus on why we were doing what we were doing in the first place.
Totally get that. And that can easily happen when you're coming from, when you're struggling in the beginning and coming from that place of scarcity, which we've all been through, I think. And it's not easy to get through that stage, but to keep, what is it that kept you persevering, that kept you driven to get past that stage? Because my God, 11 years, come on.
The best way I can describe it is I'll share a story with you regarding the helicopter stuff, because I decided at the age of 57 years old that I was going to get my helicopter pilot's license. And it was the most difficult thing I've ever had learned to do in my life, by far. There wasn't anything that even came close. And there were hundreds of times over the next couple of years that I questioned whether I could even do it. And there were defining moments along the path that could have caused me to go one direction or the other. Like I could have easily thrown in the towel multiple times, but I always went back to, why am I doing this? What's my dream? Like my dream was to be able to say, Ryan, when you come to town, let's jump in the helicopter and take a flight around Vegas. And I get excited by giving somebody that gift if they've never flown in a helicopter before. So I've probably taken 150 friends up in the helicopter when they come to town. Most of them, the great majority of them, had never been in a helicopter before, so they got to experience that for the first time. However, to answer your question, I decided to buy a helicopter. I don't even know if you know the story. I bought a helicopter. Took me over a year from the time I bought the helicopter to the time I soloed in it. I needed special training. I had to go to Texas for that multiple times. I needed to do some reconfiguration on the helicopter to make it compliant. I had to ship it, take it apart and ship it across the country, lots of stuff. Then I met a guy that we became very close friends that was a commercial helicopter pilot that had been flying for years. To make a long story short, he crashed my helicopter with us in it on June 27th, 2019. And destroyed the helicopter. And there's actually a video online. You can watch the crash and you can read the accident reports and everything. Turns out this guy, for the past many, many years, over 10 years, had been lying to everybody in his life, including the pilots and the mechanics, that he was a commercial pilot. He'd never flown in his life.
Oh, no.
And I turned the controls over to him while we were in flight, while we were hovering. And within a quarter second, the helicopter was out of control. So here's where it comes from. Like now, the helicopter's destroyed. We stepped away from the crash miraculously. We shouldn't have, because to make a long story short, for months, I questioned whether I wanted to get into a helicopter again for obvious reasons. I had PTSD. It was horrible. I was afraid. I was gripping fear to get back into the helicopter. And I just kept remembering, I kept going back to putting myself physiologically in my mind back to the state that I was in when I was dreaming about flying. And I finally got up the nerve to get back in the helicopter. I probably got 60 flights since then. Now, you asked me to talk about my beginnings. Did you want me to talk about that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I was probably 21 years old and I was at a garage sale. I had never heard the term residual income in my life. I didn't even know what that was. I didn't understand the concept of leverage. I knew what the word meant, but I didn't know what that meant as far as business. I grew up in a non-entrepreneurial family in a small suburb of Chicago, lower middle income. I was at a garage sale and I picked up a book for 25 cents called The Basics by Don Faila. And it was one of the first books written on network marketing. Today, there's thousands, but I got this book for 25 cents. I read it and I got excited about getting paid over and over again for working one time. That just sounded great. And so I decided to learn about it and pursue it. And I did get a college degree. My dad paid for the first year. I have a degree in landscape architecture. I was required to graduate, but I had to figure out how to pay for those other 3 years. And then I moved to Arizona with a guitar, suitcase, and $250. And I started answering ads in the newspaper for opportunities. And every time I'd see something that I'd like, I'd sign up. I didn't have much money. My job at the time was paying me under $20,000 a year. And I would sign up in these different opportunities. Most of them would be anywhere from $200 to $500. And every time I'd get involved, I'd work the business for 2 or 3 months and I'd get really discouraged and I would quit. And then a few months later, I'd find another one and I'd join that one. And then 2 or 3 months later, I'd get really discouraged. I'd invite 5 people to a meeting and nobody would show up. You know, the meeting thing is pretty much dead today. Like there's a lot, the concepts, the fundamentals behind network marketing are the same, but the way that we built the business back then is very different than today. So after 11 companies in 10 years, I never had signed up one person, never made a penny. I would talk to 2 or 3 people. They would be negative. They would tell me those things don't work. Nobody makes money. Only the people at the top make money, blah, blah, blah. And I would quit. And then in 1992, I joined my 12th network marketing company. And I finally talk about mindset. My mindset shifted because of a guy that I met that taught me one simple principle. And that one principle changed my life. The guy's name's Russ Devan. Russ is still on the peripheral of network marketing. He's a consultant and a coach to the network marketing profession. But Russ told me that in the business of recruiting, it doesn't matter if you're in real estate, financial planning, network marketing, or insurance. if you're recruiting people, if you're recruiting salespeople, for every, and this is the nature of people, for every 20 to 30 people you recruit, a third of them will do nothing, and you can't change that. A third of them are going to do a little, and no matter how good of a motivator you are, you're not going to change that. A third of them will do a little more than a little, and one will go on to become will go on to build an organization of thousands or become a top earner in whatever profession. So if you go to a real estate broker and you say to that real estate broker, how many agents do you need to bring on to find one that's going to make $100,000 a year? They will tell you 30 to 50. They have to recruit 30 to 50 agents, and every one of those agents need to pay a couple grand to get their real estate license. And of those 30 to 50, only one of them will go on to make $100,000 a year. Most of them will never sell a home. Some of them will sell 1 or 2 homes a year, but one will go on to make over 100,000 or more. And so I took that and I said, I need to go out and recruit 30 people. So I said, if I recruit one a month for a couple of years, this is when I was living on the Arizona State University campus in a rental. My rent was $200 a month. I was 34 years old. I lived in the garage. There were 2 roommates in the house. They weren't in the garage with me, Brian. But I had 2 roommates in the house. I had $36,000 in credit card debt on 22 credit cards, a broken down Jeep in the street that hadn't run for 2 years. I couldn't afford to fix it. My job was paying me $14,000 a year. And this was at the age of 34. I'm 65 now. I haven't had a job since 96. So what I did though, is I decided I need to recruit one person a month for a couple of years, because that would give me 24 distributors personal. And if Russ's numbers were right, approximately one of those people would go out and build something significant. Well, my 16th person in my first 2 years, I signed up 19. I didn't hit my goal of 24. And I kept track of everything. And I was living in this garage, and on the wall, I put this grid. I drew this grid on the wall, 100 squares, 10 by 10. And every time I'd share the business, this is over my bed, by the way, in my garage. Every time I'd share the business, I'd write a date in one of those boxes. So if you can imagine a handwritten grid with a marker on the wall, and then there's a date in every box. And then I needed 20 customers to qualify. So I put find 20 on there. And then I put at the bottom executive director, but I put ED for executive director at the bottom, because that was the top position in the company. And I saw that every night when I went to bed, and every day I'd write a date. If I showed the business, I'd write a date. So my goal was to show the business 3 times a week. And I thought if I could do that 3 times a week, 12 a month, then I could get one. If one said yes, and I did that every month for 24 years, or for 24 months. Well, I met a girl and liked her, and we went out on a few dates, and I brought her home and took her into the house and gave her a little tour. And she gets to my bedroom, the garage, and she sees this big grid over the bed with all these little dates in it, right? And it says at the top, find 20, and at the bottom, it says Ed. She wants to know who's Ed. True story. That's a true story. So anyway, after I started filling those squares, 3 a week was my goal. After 2 years, I signed up 19 people, not 24. My 16th was a lady named Jackie Elmer. One person. This is Russ's story. That he taught me this. Jackie signed up a lady in New Mexico. That lady in New Mexico started inviting people into her home. And over the next 3 years, that group grew to 12,000 distributors and 40,000 customers. And I made my first $1 million. Wow. That was after 11 companies in 10 years. Now, I went on to put 129 people into that business in 144 months. So less than one a month. Out of the 129 people that I signed up over a 13-year period, 5 of them led me to 85,000 distributors and 250,000 customers. And those customers are using our service month after month after month after month, which produces a significant residual income stream. But I had to have the foresight and the vision and the consistency, regardless of how I was feeling, to stick with that plan for 2 years to get to that point. Most people quit way too soon. Most people will sign up in anything they do. They'll make a couple sales or they'll sign up a few people, and then they'll get discouraged because something goes wrong. They get a chargeback, or somebody quits, or somebody goes negative and goes rogue and starts saying stuff on the internet, whatever. But we're living in a little different world today. The the tools we're using to build the business are not hotel rooms anymore. We're not doing conference rooms and hotel rooms so much. There are people that do it, but not many. We're using Zoom, and we're getting people on. We're doing trainings, and we're using apps to shoot videos out and things like that. And we're building our presence and our name on social media. So it's doing the same thing. It's just doing it in a virtual world versus a physical world.
Yeah, that's a lot, and I appreciate all of that. Great background. I saw it coming when you said you brought your girl into the room and she saw the kid. Like, wow, okay, this is gonna be
good. We never went out on another date after that.
Oh man,
she didn't believe me.
Oh my goodness.
Bed,
Well, one thing I'm curious about is, like, you didn't recruit anybody for 11 years, and then when you finally, quote unquote, crack the code. What does that mean for those who are still struggling? What did that mean? And that they can take and utilize exactly what you're telling them right now to say, this is what caused this to happen, and this is what you need to follow in order for that to happen for you.
Well, the most important thing for me was that I finally figured out that quitting doesn't work. Everybody quits on a bad day. Everybody. You have a bad day and you quit on that day. You might have 2 bad days, and you make a decision that you're done. And that can be in anything that you're doing, right? I made a decision that I was never going to quit on a bad day. That was a conscious decision. I'm not going to quit on a bad day. So every time I'd have a bad day, a bad week, a bad month, I would just keep going. I would keep working. Even though I didn't feel like it, even though my energy wasn't there, I did the work. Sometimes it was an hour a day. Sometimes it was 2 hours a day. Sometimes I could only get 20 minutes in, and I'd have to take a break, but I definitely put in the work and I kept going. And then what happens is when you do that, you start having good days, and then you have a few more bad days. It just it's the nature of building a business. It's the nature of life. And so, the things that I mastered, that was the first thing I mastered. It's almost like this. I have a home on a mountain in Arizona, and it's an old mining town called Jerome, Arizona, probably the most famous mining town in the United States. It's a tourist town today. At its peak, it had 15,000 miners, and today there's 500 residents, and it's a tourist town. And so I had this door on my third level, and a hummingbird flew into my place. And it flew straight over to this picture window behind me. And I was getting ready to leave. I was getting ready to leave for 2 weeks. And I knew that hummingbird was trying to get out through that window, which is never going to get out. There's no opening over there. There's a window. And I knew he was going to end up dead on my windowsill if I didn't get him to fly towards the door. The door was wide open. It was only like 15 feet away. I just needed to get that hummingbird to see the door so he could fly in that direction. And they're very fast. You can't distract the hummingbirds. You can't like get them to move in a different direction if they want to go that way, right? So after 2 hours of trying to get this hummingbird out, I'm getting frustrated, he's getting frustrated, and it dawned on me that hummingbird knows how to fly. It doesn't need a better hummingbird flying coach. But one direction represents struggle and death, and the other direction is effortless, and it leads to freedom. And that's all the hummingbird has to do is shift its focus, and it can effortlessly fly to freedom. For those of you that are concerned about the hummingbird is fine. He got tired. I was able to get him out, and he flew off, and everything was good. But if I had left, he would have been dead on the windowsill when I got back. And that's what most people do. They're doing the same thing over and over and over again. And sometimes it's the right thing. They're doing the right thing, but it's not about doing. It's about what are you focusing on? Like, where's your attention? And so I focused on a few things. One is I focused on my dream. Like, why am I doing it? Like, what gets me excited about life? Where's my passion? The second thing is I needed to learn the fundamentals. And you got to get, just like in flying or in baseball or in any sport for that matter, you got to get good at the fundamentals. So you got to figure out what those are and then practice them in real life, not just in a classroom or at home, but practice those fundamentals in real life. In fact, I've seen these people that will go to spend thousands of dollars on all these programs, and then they never go out and do it in the real world. if they didn't spend any money on the programs, I'm not saying they shouldn't do the programs. I'm saying if they didn't spend money on the programs and just went out into the real world, figured out what those fundamentals are. So I learned them. I learned, how do I make a list? How do I add to my list? How do I invite somebody? How do I give a simple presentation? Today, you don't even need to give presentations because everything's that your companies provide you videos, and there's all the tools you got available to you. But how to give a presentation and then follow up, that's the biggest thing, is like, what are you doing to build those long-term relationships so that when someone's ready, they come to you? There's realtors out there that never have to sell. They never have to market. They have a constant flow of new referrals coming in daily of people that are ready to buy. They don't need to market. I've got many friends like that because they've built rock solid relationships. They've kept an electronic Rolodex, and they've consciously, intentionally stayed in touch with those people in a meaningful way, look for ways to serve those people. And so they build this large Rolodex of a few thousand people, usually in the range of 1,000, maybe more, a little less. Some people do it with 500, depends on what you're into. But any business can be successful if the person that's running the business has a network of people that trust them and like them. But how do you do that? So those are the fundamentals that you need to. The follow-up is one of the biggest things. You got to get people in the pipeline, but you've got to be following up with the people that you meet and the people that know what you're up to in a meaningful way, not just because you're trying to get something from them.
I love it. What was number 3?
Was there a third thing?
Oh, I thought there was. I just assumed.
Maybe
I'm right.
I might have said that. Yeah. Well, there's number 3. So there's mindset and there's the skill. The mindset and the skills. Those are the 2 big things.
That's great. And
I don't know
thank you for that. Very encouraging to people about not quitting. And I just want to make it very clear to everyone listening that we're talking right now about the network marketing industry, where this kind of information is so badly needed. This is so equally true in just entrepreneurial world to begin with, period. If you have your own business, you cannot ever quit. You cannot ever give up. And yes, my gosh, how many times everyone that's out there that has run a business, tried to start one, is either flourishing or struggling, doesn't matter where. We've all been through that moment of, gosh, why am I doing this? Should I continue? And those are the times. Thank you, Jordan, for pointing it out, that those are the times to just push through and keep going.
Every business goes through cycles, like where you're going to have, as long as you're putting in all the good work and you're doing the work and you're focused on the right things. And so every business has its cycles. And so sometimes your business will go up and sometimes it'll go down, right? Simple, right? When it goes down, do you consider throwing in the towel, or do you dig deep and figure out how do I solve these problems? Like, how can I reinvent myself? How can I reemerge like the Phoenix bird within the opportunity that's at my feet, right? Now, there might be situations where your product becomes obsolete. Well, that doesn't mean you're done. It just means you need to figure out what's the next product that we're going to launch within our network. And I'm not just talking about network marketing. It can be any business, but your brand can survive, and you can morph and change over the years, which we've had to do, and you become the word you want to adopt is resourceful. You're all entrepreneurs. Every one of you that are listening right now are entrepreneurs. I doubt if there's anybody listening that's not an entrepreneur. And the number one skill for being successful as an entrepreneur is resourcefulness. It's how good you are at solving problems that will determine what level your business goes. And, I've had some really good runs, and I could name 10, 20, I could probably name more than that, failures. Like, as an entrepreneur, most entrepreneurs will tell you this, that most things they do, they fail at, meaning they lose a lot of money. I've lost $250,000 8 times in investments, $250,000, like where I had hope and excitement about the opportunity that was there, real estate partnerships, movies, nightclubs, restaurants, investing. You think you're smart. You're making all this money, and all of a sudden you think you're smart. You're not smart. You just figured out how to make money in one thing. And so then people come to you and they say, I need I need $500,000. I need $250,000. I need $40,000. I need $30,000. And you start shelling out this money thinking that you're going to be Mr. Shark Tank or Mrs. Shark Tank, right? And then before you know it, it's gone, that money. And so every entrepreneur has stories of failure after failure after failure after failure, but you only need to win once or twice, big, as long as you stay in the game, right? And so I've had wins and I've had a lot of losses.
Yeah, and I saw a quote earlier, just I think it was yesterday. I put it up on Facebook. It said, "If you're not failing, if you're not failing, you're not even trying," and that's
Right.
very true, because that's the only way to make it successful. And that's why so many people, like you were doing in the beginning, quit, because it's a failure and it knocks you back. But that's the time to kind of like say, okay, that's not working. What do I need to adjust? Or maybe I need to do more, or what is it? But quitting is not the option if you're going to succeed. And people look at someone like you, Jordan, and they think, oh, yeah, now you're on the top of the world, so you have it great. And no one knows the backstory of you at that point. And they're thinking, oh, he has that Midas touch. He's so suave and he knows how to talk to people. And who am I? I'm like, you know what? Jordan came from probably a deeper depth than most of you would ever come from to get where he is. And the point of this is to say, if Jordan can do it, who's to say you couldn't? No one.
It takes a lot of faith, and it hurts to fail. And sometimes it hurts emotionally. Sometimes you have egg on your face. Sometimes you feel shame around certain people because you made a decision that they felt like was a bad idea and you did it anyway and you failed. It hurts. It doesn't feel good to fail. But the only way to have your dream life is to go through that. Unfortunately, it sucks, but you do.
And that's the beautiful thing I love this show, because of people like you that just bring the raw truth and no sugarcoating. Look, this is how it is. You want the secret sauce to success? He just gave it to you right there. You got to get through the pain. You got to just muscle through it. Oh gosh. I mean, I had this incredible mentor who was great about giving me feedback. Anytime I went up on the stage, I would speak from stage. I was doing it for a seminar industry of a mentor of mine. He had a teammate that did some incredible feedback. He'd be in the back of the room taking copious notes. And when I got done, man, he loved me. So he let me have it. He told me all the things I needed to fix. The first time it happened, I did not feel good. And I said, I am never going up on stage ever again.
Yeah.
But then I went up the second time, and the feedback was, wow, you are leaps and bounds better. Now let's work on this more. Like, oh, that hurt, but not as bad. Why? The results came in and they were improving. And so it got to the point, Jordan, I could not wait to get feedback from this gentleman again. It didn't hurt anymore. It was just like, I know the result of his feedback will catapult me into even greater speaking prowess. And it did. And because of him, I'm able to speak on stage and people can actually understand what I'm saying. It's pretty cool.
Right.
So it's a great lesson to say, just keep going, push through the pain. Sorry.
It makes me think that your story makes me think of learning to hover in the helicopter. Hovering takes many hours. It looks super easy, but it takes many hours to learn. And the first, lessons usually last an hour, and you'll practice hovering 20 minutes to 30 minutes. But in 20 or 30 minutes, you can try it probably 20 or 30 times. And so the first couple lessons, my instructor, Travis, who was 23 years old, said, Jordan, if you can keep it within a football field, I'll buy you a pizza. And every time he turned the controls over to me, within a quarter of a second, the helicopter was completely out of control, and he would save my ass. He'd grab the controls and get it steady again. I don't even know how they do that, those flight instructors, those certified flight instructors, but they're amazing. So over and over and over again. And it feels impossible. Like you feel like I'm never going to get this. And it truthfully is like standing on a bowling ball, balancing a baseball on your head at the same time. Like it feels like that's what it feels like when you're starting. It's like, there's no way I'm ever going to get this. And then what happens is he said to me, I can't teach you how to do it. You have to just do it till you get it. And it's kind of like the first time you learned to ride a bicycle. Until you get balance, you're going to fall. And you have to do it over and over and over and over again until you get balance. But once you have balance, you can do it for the rest of your life. So Now I can go a couple months and jump in the helicopter, and hovering is no problem. I know, it's not that I know how to do it. I know what it feels like. It's not even, I could teach you how to hover a helicopter, Brian. It's not about how. I could teach you how to do it and you won't be able to do it. I could teach you how to ride a bike, and if you've never ridden, you won't be able to ride until you get balance. And that's how it is in your business. You've got to do it till you get it.
And that's why it's so important. You know, people that are reading books, which I highly recommend you do, and learning new things, it's great, it's powerful. But until you take the things you've learned and you do them, put them into action, you're really not going to succeed in that area. There's nothing, I mean, learning is great. Book smarts. You're talking about resourcefulness. I wanted to hit that because, you know, I consider myself this smart guy. I have a BS in computer science, and I was one of those whiz kids, almost straight A's in school, all the way through high school, all that stuff. Big deal. Now I say big deal. That was a waste because what I found was all those smarts actually became a deterrent to my success because I would overanalyze everything and try to make it perfect. And I watched this other person next to me who barely graduated with a C average, who is crushing it because of that R word you said, resourcefulness. They had that. They would figure out a way to do it while I'm thinking, oh, I'll just analyze, I'll make it better and all that. It's like, geez, what a detriment that became for me. I look back, I don't have regrets. I did learn a lot from all of this and all this experience. And I get to impart that upon other people and bring people like you on to really, pound that home, that resourcefulness is so key to success. And everything you've said, keep trying, do not quit. In fact, I don't like the word try. Keep doing, keep going after it, and don't ever give up. I mean, you're one of the, you're probably the most prominent guest I've ever had in the network marketing industry. I mean, in your bio, you are the number one earner in the industry. And
no, in my company.
In your company, okay. That's still, my gosh, for a company that's been around how long now? 12 years?
18 years.
18. So I'll still put that emphasis, thank you for the correction, on this guy, Jordan, knows what he's talking about. And if you're not listening right now, if you're not taking notes, then I don't know what to tell you. I think that you need to take notes. And even if you think you've heard all this before, you may not have heard it in the same way Jordan has spelled it out. These are the minor things that you need to really pay attention to in business is only follow those who are successful. Do exactly as they do. They have a recipe for success. All you have to do is follow it. You just need one recipe. Jordan's one recipe. There are other recipes. You have found a golden egg here. And I mean that in a very loving way. This guy has it. Follow him. I hope you're taking notes. If you haven't, go back and watch or listen to the recording and do that. And then we're going to get into some resources and some fun here too. We got a giveaway. We're going to give away a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. You saw that scrolling on the bottom earlier for those of you that stay on live. And probably more importantly, Jordan Adler has a gift for you and also a wonderful, amazing challenge. I love challenges because it gets you going and it will give you results because you've learned it. You know it. You see Jordan has the results that I'm sure you want and desire. If you're watching this, most everyone on the planet is probably not as has not achieved as much as Jordan has in the success of a network marketing company or any company for that matter. So definitely love the bicycle balance story, says Bob Hildberg. All right.
Thank you, Bob.
Earlier, Glenn was saying hello. He's giving you some love.
Hey, Glenn, what's going on?
Javaria. And so, I wanted to give people a shout out real quick on the show for coming on. Thank you for that. And my gosh, what do we got? Oh, I can't believe this. Jordan.
Time goes fast.
And you know what? I love the aviator glasses, though. It's perfect for being a helicopter pilot, man.
It's beach money, baby. It's beach money.
Let's
They're
talk about that.
They're actually prescription, so I can see my computer screen. So I take them off, but yeah.
They look great. They're like perfect for what we've been talking about. I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So
yeah. Hey, so one comment on resourcefulness that you talked about. You talked about being an engineer and a scientist. Is that correct? Right?
Engineer, yeah. Software engineer.
Yeah.
Bachelor of Science degree.
And you get smart. You know stuff. But that's part of the problem with people, including me, everybody. We know stuff, and then we already know, and then we get stuck in that comfort zone, that one place, and we can't get out of it because we're doing only what we know. It's really, resourcefulness comes down to asking better questions.
Yeah.
Like if you sold 50 books. You wrote a book and you sold 50 books. It's like asking the right questions. How do I, what are some alternative ways that I could be selling books? How do I get to 250,000 books from, and so it's like asking the right questions is a big part of resourceefulness.
Yeah, and as humans, we all love to be right. To a person, there's not a person exempt from that. We want to be right, and we'll often say when Jordan's talking about resourcefulness, you might say to yourself, "Oh, I know that." You might even say it internally without saying it out loud. The
Right.
horrible thing about that phrase is the moment you say that to yourself, either internally or you say it out loud, is you are turning yourself off. Your brain is being shut off from further learning from Jordan during this chat. If that was you, which many of you could have done that, I used to do it all the time, and I still do it to this day, but you become aware of it, and then what you do is you reframe it immediately. You say, I know that, and I wonder what else I can learn from this today.
Exactly.
It doesn't have, you don't have to take away and erase and say, I know that, but is an eraser. I know that, and give yourself credit. Okay, you're knowledgeable, and I wonder what else. So open that brain back up like a parachute that only works when it's open. So Workins. Wow, that was a good one, huh? So, yeah. So I wanted to actually go into a little bit more about how people can connect with you before we get too deep and I forget, because that happens on occasion. I get excited, and you have got me excited, brother. I appreciate this.
Well, good.
So what I want to do
good.
is pull up a great site that you have. I think it's fantastic because it has a lot of resources in a nice compact area. And so what I would like to do is kind of turn the reins over to you, Jordan, and let you discuss what's on there and where you think people would best navigate and go first to then go deeper into learning how to succeed such as you have. Would that be okay?
Absolutely, yeah. You're going to put up some links. I had a little glitch there in my internet, but it seems like we're back. Yeah, there's my link tree right there. And if somebody is, did you want me to talk about this, Brian?
Yes, please.
Yeah, you can access the free gift on this page, the third one down, the Promptings Process ebook. If you're intrigued by some of the things that I've been talking about and you want to know how to, you spend your career, your life, your business pursuing, like going after things and feeling like you're chasing, but you want to be better at attracting, download that book. It's a super easy read. It's 170 pages, but there's lots of visuals and it goes really fast. Download the free Promptings Process ebook there. And it's free. You can do that. And then also, part of, you get back what you send out. And I'm a distributor, top distributor with a company called Send Out Cards. And we just rolled out a 10-card challenge where you get 10 cards and 10 stamps for $20. You just pay $20 one time and you get 10 cards and 10 stamps, but now you have an account for sending thank you cards out, nice to meet you cards. You can grab pictures from your phone or from social media. And think of 10 people, your spouse, your significant other, your kids, your business partners, the people you do business with, the people that, have been your customers, sending them a thank you card or a nice to meet you card. And this just gives you a way that you can easily and quickly do that from an app on your phone. You hit the send button and we do the rest. You hit send and it's at the post office the next morning. These are real cards. They go in the mail, 10 cards and 10 stamps, $20. You can send them from an app on your phone. Take the challenge. You'll have some fun with it. I promise the feedback you get will be invaluable to you and you'll have an account.
And I love, this goes right down the alley in that the company itself, the very product that it provides you is exactly how you can build relationships, which Jordan has already expressed how important that is. So you're given a tool that lets you do exactly what Jordan is telling you that you need to do to become successful. So it's it's almost a perpetual machine where it's helping you to build the very relationships that are going to help you to become more successful in life. A past guest whom who came on, Elijah Stepp, who was on my show, he sent me one of those cards. I mean, I was so impressed because he put our show logo with our thumbnail of both he and I, our picture on the front of it. And it came instantly. And it had a nice note on it. Beautiful.
He did that right from his app. He sent it in the mail. He hit the send button on his app and uploaded the pictures, and then you got it in your mailbox.
That is fantastic. So for the folks that are listening and not watching live, I want to give you that link to go get these resources. And that is It's Linktree, and it's spelled linktr.ee. So Linktree, and the tree is separated with a .ee/beach money, all together, one word, all lowercase. So go to linktr.ee, so Linktree/beach money, and you can go directly to that page that he just described. And then when you get to that page, there's a very top button for those of you listening only. It's called 10 cards, 10 stamps, $20. That was the latter part he talked about. And then 2 buttons down from that, it says download free prompting process ebook. And for those of you that are not watching live, I implore upon you to do that, because we still have another great prize to give away. And we only give that away to those who are watching live. The rest of you, definitely, doesn't matter if you're watching live or recording, please go devour those amazing resources that Jordan just provided you. If you're not watching live, definitely get on our mailing list. All we do is announce the next time we go live. That's it. We don't sell or pitch anything. So go to themindbodybusinessshow.com, and there are many buttons you'll find on there that says where and how to watch. You click any one of them, register. We even give you a $300 hotel discount card, and they are legit. I've used them myself just for opting in, just for providing your contact information. So we can tell you the moment we go live, you get a link. You click the link and you're watching us live. You don't have to work, go find us, and you could comment, and you could enter to win this amazing prize coming up. So be sure to do that. So Linktree/beach money. Let's see. My dad always, here we go. Bob Hildberg. My dad always told me that there were 3 ways to try to solve a problem: the right way, the wrong way, and another way. That's awesome.
Great advice, Bob. Great advice.
I love it. I love it. Yes. My goodness. We're getting close. Let's see. So I definitely want to get that done. So we're going to do the prize in just a moment, and the giveaway, which is a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort, compliments of Reach Your Peak, the sponsor of this show, in just a moment. Before we do that, though, I'm going to open up the fact that, Jordan, what we're going to do and how I close out every show is I ask one very profound and telling question each and every time. And this came about kind of randomly, haphazardly, back 3-4 years ago when I was first doing the show. I would ask this question on occasion, and I started realizing, wow, these responses are unbelievable. They're incredible. And so I began closing every show with them. And with that, with your permission, I will reach out to you later.
Brian.
What's that?
I'm nervous.
Oh, no, not at all. Don't worry. And when we're done, with your permission, I'll reach out to you. This will be down the road. I'm going to put together a compilation book, and the title of the book will be the very question I'm about to ask you. So we'll have you and so many others because it's, oh my gosh. And so before I do that, though, here is how you can enter to win the 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort from many areas of the world. You do not want to miss this. Definitely enter this. And here it is again. Do not go to this link right now. Write it down. And right after the show's over, you can enter to win. We'll be around monitoring it for some time after the show's over. Don't worry, but write it down, because you don't want to miss this question, especially you don't want to miss the answer by Mr. Jordan Adler. So I'm going to bring up the URL on the screen for you to enter. So you're going to write this down. Everybody agree? I will write this down. I'll say it with me. Here it is on the screen for you watching live. You want to go to ryp.im/vacation. RYP stands for Reach Your Peak, makes it simple. .im/vacation, all lowercase. Write it down. Don't enter yet. Do it right after the show's over. I cannot wait to see who wins that. We do a random draw, and we get to do this each and every week thanks to Reach Your Peak. All right. So, Jordan, about that wonderful question. I know. It's like, what the heck, the buildup. The cool thing is that there is no such thing as a wrong answer.
Well, that's good.
It doesn't exist. In fact, the exact opposite is the case, is that the only correct answer is yours, because it will be unique to you. How do I know that? Because of hundreds of times of asking this question and the answers I've gotten back. And here's the other cool thing. If you have the answer instantly, or if it takes seconds, many seconds for you to come up with the answer, that also is 100% perfect, because again, it's unique to you. There's no pressure whatsoever. The only thing going on right now is massive, immense curiosity. And so with that, Jordan, are you ready?
I'm ready. Hit me.
Of course he's ready. He's Jordan Adler. All right, here we go. Jordan Adler, how do you define success?
Success is finding your passion and living your passion. And how do you know what your passion is? It's what you focus on and think about all the time before you've given up on it. Like, you might have had something that was really big and really important to you that you gave up on, that you stopped thinking about. But whatever it is that you're driven, whatever moves you and gets you out of bed in the morning and makes you excited about life, having that out there in the future, and then living that dream, whatever that dream is. If it's to build churches in South America, or if it's to take your family to Disneyland, or if it's to learn some type of a new skill, or become an artist, or learn to play music, pick up the guitar, whatever it is, whatever that is, that something that you've always wanted to do but you've never done. Success is when you begin the journey to achieve that. And it's the journey getting there. It's the journey. It's like the experience of getting there. And then it's also achieving your dream. So you can step back and say, you know what, I did it. How's that?
Absolutely, completely, and totally amazing. I mean it. I'm not just putting weird words together.
Yeah.
Here's the most amazing thing, Jordan. I've asked this of many people, the same question. No two people yet have answered it the same way.
Right.
And a great, wonderful, reminder of incredible people such as yourself is just like you, no one before you. The answer was not once you reach X amount of money. It had nothing to do with money. You didn't. I don't even think you said money in that whole thing.
I didn't say money.
Some do say it, but it's not the focus. It's not the priority. It is. It does enable you to have the liberation to do what you want and to achieve what you want, if that's what you so desire. But most, all did not focus on money, just as you did not. And that's why I love what I get to do, because only the best of the best come on this show and provide such amazing. There is no way possible, Jordan, that you are 65. It's not possible. I mean,
thank you.
Any guy that wants to look like they're 40 for the rest of their life, then I think you connect with Jordan, or less than 40. My God, you look phenomenal, and I appreciate you for coming on and providing these just unabated success tips with everybody. You know, this is it's not magic, right? It's just the basics, like you said, the fundamentals of success.
People are here going. Most people are thinking to themselves, "I already know that. I know that." You know, and so it's not about what you know. Yeah,
it's more about what you do over and over and
or
over.
what you do, what you focus on.
Absolutely. Wow. Well, you've been an absolute gem, godsend. I appreciate you, and I can't wait to stay connected with you going on. When you come out our way, you definitely pick up the phone or email me. Let me know when you're in town, and definitely need to connect, grab a beverage, coffee, whatever, and chew the fat some more, if so to speak. We won't have any fat though.
Look forward to that.
All right. Well, with that, the amazing Jordan Adler. Oh, one real quick thing. If you want people to connect with you directly, would your email be a great way to do that?
Email's great. You can shoot me an email. I'll get it. Yep. There you go.
And there it is. It's
beachmoneyjordan@gmail.com.
beachmoneyjordan@gmail.com. So if you want to connect with him directly, learn about send out cards, and then also, here's my advice to everyone. If you want to learn from Jordan, join Send Out Cards with him. Small amount of money for what you're going to learn from him directly and through his team was learned from him. There's no amount of money that could buy what is in his brain. And this is going to be an easy entry point for you to learn from one of the best in Send Out Cards, the company itself. So it's that simple. And you might be thinking, I don't want to join MLM. Well, then don't. And you just won't know the secrets to success, because, nothing ventured, nothing gained. That's my take on it. And he did not come on here saying, Brian, will you promote me? He doesn't need me to. He's doing just fine. He's flying helicopters. Come on. It's awesome. And so with that, Jordan, any final parting thoughts you would like to impart upon the audience that you think might be appropriate at this time?
Yeah, there is. There's a book that I want to recommend. And I don't know if it's on your list, but it should be if it's not. It's one of the best books that I've read in the past 20 years. And it's called The Third Door by Bayan is his last name. And I'll tell you what, this book, it's one of the most, there's no other books out there like it. It's not an instructional book. It's not a biography. It's just a book about a guy that wanted to be successful, and it's his story on how he got there, and just very encouraging, very exciting. Great book.
Sounds familiar.
In fact, do I have time to tell? Okay, let me just say one thing on the book.
Yeah.
Imagine this. You're going to a nightclub and you want to get in the nightclub. There's 3 doors. There's the main door where everybody stands in line and pays their fee. There's the VIP door where the celebrities go and the multimillionaires go. But then there's a third door that people don't know about. The book is called The Third Door. How do you get through the third door? That's a compelling concept. Send out cards is one way you can do that, by the way.
Yep, I know I've read that one. That sounds, yes. As soon as you were starting to talk, this sounds like, were there game shows involved in it and part of it?
Yes. So you have read it. Yeah,
that was just that story. It was awesome. We got chosen out of the line and everything. So, I love that. That's a great book. So I don't know if it's in my list because it's not updated, but definitely need to have that thrown in there.
Yeah,
if not.
For sure.
And so look it up. Just look up The Third Door, and I'm sure you'll find what Jordan's talking about. And definitely,
and order Beach Money while you're ordering The Third Door.
There you go. Beach Money is the name of your book, correct?
Yes.
Beach Money by Jordan Adler. Definitely go. Come on. If you've watched or listened to this show, you know it's going to be filled with more value, way more than he could have ever exhibited here tonight on a 1-hour show. I mean, a book is it's a Bible for you to learn how to achieve success from one of the best in the business, Jordan Adler. So it's simple. How much does a book cost these days? Come on. It's not that much. So get 2 books, send out cards with Jordan Adler, and get busy getting successful and getting everything you want and deserve in life. That is it. All right, Jordan, thank you so much. You've been an absolute gem. I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you. Oh my gosh, let me see if we have. Yes. Thank you, Bob. You said Beach Money. Yes. And The Third Door. Bob. He's helping us out. I love it. Thank you, Bob. Bob Hilberg. All right. With that, I am going to call this a show. It's been wonderful. It's been amazing. Thank you all for coming on live. And also for those of you who have watched us or listened to us on podcasts, one of our 35 podcast platforms. We appreciate you all. Until we meet again, I want you to please do 2 things. Number 1, continue to strive to go out and crush it and serve more people. And number 2, above all else, everyone, please be blessed. That's it for us. On behalf of Jordan Adler, I'm Brian Kelly, the host of the Mind Body Business Show. We will see you again next time. So long for now, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Brian. Happy birthday.
Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.